Cancorla, and thank you, Minister. Like others, I welcome the publication of the air accident report into the R116 tragedy, which will now enable the inquest, the long-awaited inquest, to go ahead. My thoughts are with the families of Dara Fitzpatrick, Mark Duffy, Paul Ormsby and Kieran Smith. We who live on the Mullet Peninsula and the wider Mayo area share a special affinity with these families and with the crew. The whole community took them into their hearts as the tragedy unfolded in the early hours of March 14th, 2017. And their courage and dedication is forever remembered when we look out on Black Rock and Black Sod Bay. And I want to take this opportunity to thank all of those involved, all of the community who were involved, all of the agencies that were involved on the ground, the local Gardaí, the RNLI, the fishermen and so many others who pulled together in that awful time following the terrible accident that had happened. And we are continuously mindful that the bodies of winchman Paul Ormsby and Kieran Smith have not been yet recovered. I'm very conscious as I talk about this that not to jeopardise any legal future legal actions, so that curtails what I will say. But you detailed so many actions in your contribution, Minister, and of course the question is, why has it taken so long? We would have assumed that all of the things that are in this report, we automatically trusted. We trusted that the system worked. We trusted that the system worked to keep crews safe, to keep volunteers safe. And we're shocked to find out that this was not the case. And we ask why things are identified and not rectified. It's very plain that these things were identified, but nobody was listening. We look at Black Rock, why did a natural structure, the size and the height of Black Rock, not appear in the mapping? It's absolutely unbelievable. Why agencies have a common purpose but don't act more holistically? And why did we have so much confusion? We ask what lessons can be learned and how we can procure the cutting-edge equipment that we need while safeguarding the glitches of bringing on this new technology. How do we ensure consistency with equipment, with training and with standards? And are the regulatory and legislative structures appropriate, consistent across the whole SAR framework? In aviation, working at height, cliff rescue, land rescue and boat rescue. And do we need to look more globally to benchmark best practices in regulation, in training and in operation? And unfortunately, all of this is too late for Dara, for Mark, for Paul and for Kieran. But we mustn't let their lives or their deaths be in vain. The 42 recommendations must be implemented, and I'm glad to hear you detail this evening in how they are going to be implemented. And those accountable for overseeing the implementation of these recommendations must be known. We must have accountability within the system. It's vital that lessons are learned from what has occurred here to ensure that all crews and volunteers can work safely and have confidence that they are protected while they go about the important work that they do. There has to be robust and thorough action from you, Minister, from the Department of Transport, from the Irish Coast Guard and those involved in search and rescue operations to ensure that the measures are put in place. The crews must have confidence in their working environment and the public must have confidence in that environment. And like my colleague, Deputy O'Rourke said, we need a timeline and we need continuous reviews and updates. We so much owe it to those who have lost their lives, to those who have given their lives in service. This must never, ever, ever happen again. And we will always ask why. And we will always ask, could this have been avoided? Could it have been avoided? And people need to answer those questions. But my thoughts for this evening are with the families who, as I say, will always be in the hearts of the people of Mayo and Erris.